In the previous episodes, we explored how Dr. Ian Stevenson began his journey into the study of reincarnation, and we uncovered the world-shaking case of Shanti Devi. Today, we turn to another remarkable story from India, the case of Ravi Shankar. India is a land deeply rooted in the belief of rebirth. For thousands of years, whether in temples or among ordinary farmers, stories of past lives have been passed down from generation to generation. Yet in the realm of science, belief and fact must be separated with precision. Ravi Shankar's case stands out because it contained numerous details that could be independently verified. Ravi was born in a small village in northern India. Like most of the villagers, his parents lived modestly and struggled to make ends meet. But from an early age, they noticed something unusual about their son. By the age of 3, Ravi began to mention strange names and places, even describing a house he claimed to have once lived in. At first, his parents dismissed it as childish imagination, but as the details multiplied, their curiosity grew stronger. In this episode, we will begin with Ravi's childhood memories, then follow the investigations that confirmed his claims, and finally explore the international significance of this case. This is not just the story of a curious child, but an essential piece in the larger puzzle of reincarnation research. Ravi Shankar was born in a small town in northern India. From the time he first began to speak, his parents noticed something unusual. He would use strange words and describe scenes that no one in his family had ever mentioned. Sometimes, he would suddenly burst into tears saying, "I want to go home." When his mother gently reminded him, "But this is your home," Ravi would shake his head and reply with his tender voice, "No, this is not my home. My home is somewhere else, near a small river, with a big banyan tree in front of the house." At first, his parents thought these were just the fantasies of a child. But as Ravi grew older, his accounts became more detailed, so detailed that he could even mention the exact name of another village. Ravi also displayed behaviors far beyond his age. He refused to eat certain foods that his family commonly ate, saying, "That's not what I used to eat." He seemed strangely familiar with musical instruments, sometimes humming melodies without anyone teaching him. But the most striking of all was that he kept calling out a name. Lal, he would say again and again, as if searching for a loved one. His parents grew increasingly concerned. Could it be that their child was actually recalling memories of a previous life? They decided to consult the village elders. The elders listened in silence, then finally said, "Perhaps your child remembers a life that came before this one." When Ravi's parents shared his unusual behavior with the villagers, word spread quickly. Some were skeptical, while others whispered that it might be a sign from the divine. But the turning point came when a teacher named Anand heard about the boy. Anand, who taught in a nearby town, decided to meet Ravi in person. As soon as they sat face to face, he was astonished. The boy casually mentioned the name of another village, Barha village. Anand knew this place. It was real, about 40 kilometers away. He asked gently, "And who did you see there?" Ravi immediately replied, "A man. He was my father. His name was Lal." This was no vague imagination. It was a specific name and a real location. Anand felt compelled to verify the boy's statements. A few days later, Anand and several village elders decided to take Ravi to Barha village. It was a journey filled with anticipation and tension. As they entered the outskirts of the village, Ravi suddenly shouted with excitement, "I know this place. I walked this road before." The adults exchanged glances, their hearts pounding. The most astonishing moment came when Ravi ran straight toward a house and cried out, "This is my home!" The people inside came out in surprise. Among them stood a middle-aged man. His name was Lal. At first Lal was stunned, unsure how to respond to this strange boy. But when Ravi began describing the details of the house, everyone fell silent. He pointed to an old wooden chest inside the room and said, "There is a flute inside. I used to play it." The chest was opened, and indeed, a wooden flute lay wrapped in cloth. The crowd froze. This could no longer be dismissed as a child's fantasy. Tears welled up in Lal's eyes as he whispered, "Could it be? You are truly the son I lost?" Ravi Shankar's story quickly spread beyond his village. In the 1950s and 1960s, Indian newspapers carried headlines such as, "The Child Who Remembers a Past Life," and "Evidence of Reincarnation." Crowds gathered to witness the boy identifying houses, recognizing relatives, and recalling intimate details. As the news spread, Indian scholars and psychologists stepped in. They feared the case might be dismissed as mere folklore, so they applied stricter methods of verification. Independent interviews. Different teams questioned Ravi and the supposed past life family separately. Physical verification. Every object and room detail described by Ravi was checked on site. Emotional observation. Researchers noted Ravi's natural reactions, such as tears when embracing his former mother. This careful approach gave the case scientific weight. Around this time, Dr. Ian Stevenson, psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, was beginning his worldwide research on children with past life memories. Ravi's testimony entered his growing database. In his notes, Stevenson wrote, "A child without external guidance described details of a stranger's family. Such accuracy cannot easily be dismissed as coincidence." Ravi's case was later catalogued alongside more than 2,500 similar reports worldwide, forming a body of evidence that challenged both science and philosophy. Thus, what began as a village story transformed into an academic discussion, forcing modern thought to confront the mystery of consciousness and rebirth. As the years passed, Ravi Shankar's extraordinary childhood memories slowly faded into the rhythm of ordinary life. Yet his story did not disappear. It lived on. In the notebooks of Ian Stevenson, in the minds of researchers, and in the debates of scholars around the world. For the villagers, Ravi was once just a miraculous child who remembered too much. For science, he became one of the clearest examples that demanded attention. Skeptics continued to argue, raising questions of suggestion, coincidence, or hidden influence. But the raw emotional truth of Ravi's tears, his recognition of strangers as family, and his uncanny knowledge of a forgotten household, these remained undeniable, etched into the case records. In the end, Ravi's story became more than a child's tale. It became part of humanity's search for answers to the oldest question: does something of us survive beyond death? Perhaps science does not yet have the tools to explain, but through cases like Ravi's, we are reminded. The boundary between life and death may not be the end. It may only be another chapter. The story of Ravi Shankar once again reveals how a child's memories can cross the boundary between life and death, leaving traces that defy ordinary explanation. Dr. Stevenson's research not only documented these stories, but also invited us to reflect. Does life truly end at death, or does it continue in an endless cycle of rebirth? As Bhikkhu Bodhi once said, "Our view of what lies beyond death shapes what we consider meaningful in this life. If we dismiss future existence as fiction, then immersing ourselves fully in worldly pursuits may seem reasonable. But if we accept the possibility that life continues beyond death, then every choice we make here and now carries a deeper weight. It compels us to ask, what is truly worth seeking? In this light, renunciation, compassion, and mindfulness take on profound and enduring significance. This story is not an end, but a beginning. For in the next episodes, we will continue to follow Dr. Stevenson's path, exploring more cases across the world, and listening to the echoes of lives that transcend time.